Test, test, test. Okay. Saw a video and then she went away.
Joel, do you want me on my video?
You can if you want to. You don't have to. It's up to you. Okay, I'm just gonna be waiting for people to come join in on the meeting, including the one behind me over the wall.
I'm here.
You gonna come join the video part of this thing, or are you gonna hide over there?
Yeah, I'll join the video with that.
Are you, rather than doing two videos in the same office, why don't you just come join?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Okay. I just kind of turned it so you could kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give me 1 second. Who, how many people we got so far?
So far, just, you know, maybe 4 or 5. So, see how many of the community shows up. I have a feeling it's going to be a smaller meeting than normal because most people probably don't know how to either use the Zoom or may not remember how to do it, have to go through it. So
Maybe something we can post on the page on how to be able to join, but or like have like a direct link or something.
I did put some instructions up, but it's under the our website schedule.
The way it's listed is a little confusing. So if there's a way to post the direct link, I think you should do that.
Yeah, there is. I can take a quick look into that. So, Randy, I'm going to send this to you directly, and then you can try to get it out for me. So, in case there's anyone that has any questions.
Okay, I gotta take a phone call and then I'll post it.
We're just going to give everybody a little time to come in for those that are here. So I think this will probably take a little bit of time for people to get used to the method.
The Kathy, our treasurer, is gonna be about 20 minutes late.
That's fine. Did you look like a cat burglar or something?
I get that a lot. Yeah, I get that.
Our local cat burglar right here.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Welcome to Burglar Techniques 101. That's inappropriate. Too soon?
I think it's really way too soon.
It's not soon enough.
Okay. We're gonna give a few more minutes, try to give people a chance to kind of come in. So.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yep, I must see a chat up. Okay, yeah, I do copy the link to get in. Okay. Yeah. I need to make that into a link real quick. So let's do this real quick. Get that changed into an actual link. Since we're waiting on everybody anyways. I thought I had made this link when I did this, but no, not. Okay, that should now be in our Facebook, should be a link you can click on. Yep, okay, cool. Okay, perfect. So, all right, let's just give it, a couple more minutes, and then we'll kind of start going into it. I expected this meeting to be a little bit smaller, just because it's not in person, so people are more in person and things. So, but these community meetings will now be once they're done and everything, we'll put them in to a upload for YouTube, and then we'll post them out on the web for everybody to see.
What about Facebook? We're gonna put these on Facebook too.
Yep. We'll post them to our the link to our website, and then from there we'll share them out. So let's try to get. We'll probably see if if no one comes in between now and the next 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll just kind of get going. So, Don, you can raise your hand. Oh, okay. Yep, has to unmute. I guess you can. You did find a way to raise your hand.
Yeah, I have to go to the thing.
Don, your mic was way crazy. I don't know how to describe what I just heard.
NASCAR.
Yes, I think it sounded like you were talking in the middle of NASCAR. So I'm gonna ask you to unmute yourself again and see if it fixes it. I think you got a bad connection. You might want to try calling back in real quick. Yeah, I'm sorry for the report for the bring up the crime report. Oh, I was gonna bring it up in here so I can share. I can share screen. I think. Yep, I can. Okay, cool. So let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. It's not there. Actually, I'm just going to go to home. I want to show people how to get to it, so in case they don't know.
Okay.
That'd be a good way to do it. So, okay, so let's try to unmute you again there, Don, and see if you're fixed here.
Okay, I'll try checking some things. Is it any better?
No, it's still got a lot of craziness to the sound, but I can hear you. But it's still.
Okay, try that. Is that improved?
Not really. I can hear you, but it's also crazy sound.
You're kind of sounding broke up on my end too.
Now, I'm wondering if it's just maybe a bad connection.
I'll try calling in on a different line.
Okay. Well, guys, looks like I don't see anyone else popping in and everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this. Actually, Don, I'll give you a minute just to kind of call back in, and then I'll kick it off once you get called back in. It's not a massive hurry. We don't have an insanely high agenda for tonight. Yes, for everybody that is here, though, just so you know, if you guys would like to get like our agendas, I try to put it up at least at the latest the same day, if not a couple days ahead of time, for the community watch meeting to kind of see what we're going to talk about. The actual document for that will be on our website under the event. You can just click on it and download it. So
maybe we can create a time signature so people know when the actual meeting starts, so they don't have to listen to all this. That's possible.
What do you mean by a time signature?
Like, so they know that they can jump ahead to a certain time period?
Yeah, I'll mention that on there and stuff. So we'll work on getting some video editing software on here too, so we can cut some of the less important things out. So just, you know, going through some of these initial things are important. So to get these worked out anyways, being the first one for the community, well, there's going to be always be a little bit of a, so. Fourth season to services. Okay, we'll give her a chance to get connected as well. Oh, looks like Don fell all the way off. I think he's going to come all the way back in. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the meeting open. So I'm going to give you a quick kind of quick guidance on how the Zoom meeting is going to progress, and we do as we go through them. First of all, if just kind of give you an idea who's here, you guys don't know me. I'm Joel, the Estacada Community Watch President. We have our patrol lieutenant right here, Justin Gaskill. We have Brandy, our event coordinator. Christy Merritt is one of our board members. She just popped on there. Don Allen was on here, another board member, and he's coming back on.
Speak of the devil.
He had some audio issues, and I believe that's who we have on here right now. Some of the other board members might be making it later. If not, then different meetings they'll be here for. You look overly comfortable, Christy.
Yeah, thanks for the comfy vibes.
Okay, so I'm going to open this meeting. Basically, if you would like to speak to us or raise your hand during either the community open discussion, or if we open up for another item for someone to speak, the chat is open on the right hand side there. You can also, on the bottom part of your screen, you can click it in the center if you mouse over it, and you can just share something in the chat down there, and that will allow us to see that you need to either speak up or you have something to share with the group, something kind of like that, like you would normally do in the community meetings together. So we're going to try to find a way to make this work and try to make this as inclusive and wholesome as we can, with a little bit of organization thrown in there. So we're going to work with this during the winter, so that way we're not outside freezing. And because of COVID, we can't seem to get together in a big building right now. If that changes, we'll update everybody. But hopefully we'll have some sort of Zoom going forward, even if we end up getting back together, so that we can have the recordings to share. Okay, so to give you a quick idea, we have some general items we're going to go over, which include the upcoming events, some volunteer needs. We're going to mention the crime reports tonight. We're going to go over some focus items, which are about our patrol information. We'll touch on the fire board meeting that would happen last night and some of the information that came out of that. Then we'll open up for community discussion, any sort of concerns, anything you'd like to bring up. We'll go over the next meeting dates, and then we'll end the meeting from there. So this next part would be for, we'll be talking about our upcoming events, which is our Thanksgiving boxes and Christmas family adoption. I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Brandy to kind of talk a little bit about that, and then we'll see if we can fill anything there if she needs. So let me go ahead and make sure she can unmute herself.
Hi. So first off, Thanksgiving boxes. We're getting together on the 22nd. It's a little bit different how we have to do this because of COVID. So if you don't know where our office is, it is at the community center, and then our office is located down like where the covered parking is. So we're gonna have our volunteers come and help us put the food boxes together, starting on at 1 o'clock on that day. Now we'll be spread out, and we'll be making sure everyone's following the protocols. Depending on what's happening, we have Salvation Army helping us. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to be provided, which is really cool. And they might have already put together some of the boxes for us. So we might not have to do it as long as I thought originally. But for now, we're going to be there from 1 to 5 p.m. At about 3 o'clock, we'll have drivers pull up to start delivering to those who need delivery. And anyone who wants to pick up we'll have them pick up from 4 to 5 p.m. and it'll be a no contact pickup. So what that means is our volunteers will, once we know that what car you're in and who you are and what family you're with or what family's picking up, we will have our our volunteers pull up your box and put it in your trunk or in the back seat of your car, kind of like Clicklist works. It's going to be similar to that. Yeah, so we have a lot of volunteers. If you'd like to volunteer, you're more than welcome, but we're not in need of any more right now, which is awesome. Considering the way the restrictions are, we have to be really careful how many people we have together at one time. And also we have a lot of families already signed up. I think I only have about 10 spots available. We're doing 50 families, so we have 40 families already signed up. So if you know of someone that needs to be nominated, you might want to get them to contact me, or you contact me right away, because we probably will be full by tomorrow. And that's how Thanksgiving's working. What else did you want me to talk about?
Just give it a little bit of idea about the Christmas family adoption, what the deadlines are, and kind of what process we're looking at, how we're going to select those families a little bit.
Okay, so we're picking 10 families to adopt for Christmas. What that means is we're going to try to provide whatever we can for them for Christmas, gifts, things that they might need on top of like presents for the kids, things of that nature, a meal as well. The deadline to nominate a family for the Christmas adoption is November 30th, because we need enough time to get what they need. Also, if you're going to adopt a family, if you know them really well and you know this information, that's great. If not, we need to get the information from them. But what we need to know is how many are in the family, what their needs are, what their wants are, ages, anything you could think of that would be important for us to get the right kind of items for them. We need to know that. And we're selecting the families based on fire families come top priority right now because of the situation we're in. And then also, we're looking at, there are other groups doing adopt families. So we want to make sure that we're not adopting the same family that another group is adopting. We want to make sure that we're, following protocols and all that. So when it comes, once we have the deadline met, then we can have a list out there to have people start donating those items if they'd like to participate.
So,
and
Brandy, if we get, let's say we get 15, 20 people that nominate families, who's going to be selecting that? What's our process? Won't you share what that's going to be?
Basically, we start with selecting anyone that was affected by the fire first. So say we have 20 families and there's 5 families in there that lost their homes, they're automatically on our list of 5 families. And from there, we look at them, we double check to see if anyone is already being taken care of from another group. If they are, they get taken off the list.
That'll be given to the board to make those selections at a board meeting. It's fall happens on the 1st, correct? That's why
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah, sorry. I assume people know that. So yeah, our first board meeting in December, we decide who the families are based on these specifications though. I want to be clear because there's quite a few families in our town that a lot of people know about and are trying to help at the same time. So we want to make sure, and in our board meeting, we'll be able to look at that, make sure that we're not doubling down on one family and missing a family that would need something. So that's the biggest thing for me.
Yep, definitely. So make sure that we try to get those clarified when they come in, guys, and everybody out there, and definitely make sure you get them in time, because like I said, those decisions happen on the 1st of December, and then that list will go out right away. So there won't be much of a leeway after that at all. So, okay, awesome. Is there anything else you could think of you'd like to talk about for Christmas? Maybe when we'll be planning on delivering those items?
Christmas Eve.
Was it Christmas Eve? I thought we decided the 23rd.
Oh wait, the 23rd. We chose the 23rd because some families won't be in on Christmas Eve. So, and we're trying to get Santa to make an appearance. So we'll see if that happens. We'll see how that works. But yeah, it's gonna be really exciting. It's gonna be really fun.
Awesome.
But yeah, the deadline's really important. The 30th, you have to nominate them by then, because we have to make the decision in the meeting. And if they're nominated after that, there's nothing we can do, because once the meeting happens, it's like a fast train moving. We can't stop it at that point.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that's great. Is there anything else you'd like to add for any of the upcoming events, or?
No, not really.
Well, it sounds like you've been putting a lot of work in there. So awesome. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next section, which is going to be our volunteer needs. I think Brandy alluded to, I can see your eyeball. That's about it. I think Brandy alluded to a little bit. We got a good amount of volunteers for the Thanksgiving event, but we're always welcome to try to, fit another volunteer, and we don't want to turn people away that want to help if we can avoid it. I'm sure there'll be some help that's needed for the Christmas family adoption. That could be whether I'm sure there's gonna be present wrapping at some point. I'm sure there's gonna be something along the lines of, maybe putting things together, some work to deliver them. I'm sure she'll bring up more options for that. It looks like Brandy had a statement to that.
Yeah, I will need volunteers for Christmas. But I don't want to start that until we have the families picked and we know what we're doing.
Understandable. Yeah, I just let you know there will be some volunteer needs coming up for those. And more details, obviously, as we get more closer to the event. So I do also know that there is still a need for the patrols that we'll be putting together. So we're still working on getting the volunteer list for that as we continue to build those programs together. And so if anyone is interested in becoming a Community Watch Patrol member and what that might entail, definitely reach out to us. You can email us. You can, we have a phone number to call in, which is 971-301-5881. I'll put that back out there too as well. You can stop in during the office when we're here during the day. We're usually here, about 9 to 3 in most cases. We're here for sure. Unless you catch us while we're getting lunch or something. Also, I believe that there's a way you can also reach out to us through the website. So please let us know if you'd like to volunteer for the patrol. The more we have, the better, and the more coverage we can have. Let's see. I think that's what we have for volunteer needs through the rest of the year. We'll try to update you as more stuff comes up. Christy, board member, do you have anything that you think I'm maybe forgetting? No? You either look really tired or you don't feel good. Or you're just really, really comfortable. Don't feel good? Oh, I'm sorry. So thank you for making it the attempt to be here. I'm sure you're loving the fact that it's a Zoom meeting right now versus an in-person meeting. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the next piece on here, which I'm going to go ahead and share the screen for this one so that everybody can kind of see where our crime reports are. Okay, so on our screen, we should see my screen that has the Community Watch website up. Is that what's showing right now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So if you do see this, it's estacadawatch.org. So if you'd like to come to our website and see what's here, we have a lot of resources on here. We have our community news, which we kind of, actually, I'm just going to give a whole tour of the website real quick so people get an idea. We have things we put out, for example, like a documents released by the Estacada Fire. I put those up. The after action review links are here. We have some information about the Riverside Fire. Including if you want to reach out for donations and stuff through there, we can do that. Our events calendars are on here as well, upcoming events and for each month. We have some community tools, which is a new release for the group. We have Clackamas County Sheriff's has a whole bunch of stuff. You can check on warrants, the most wanted, inmates. You can also see a bunch of resources from the Clackamas County as well around here. The police reports we'll get back to in a minute. You can find out more information about who we are in our background a little bit. Some pictures from different areas, like when we did the lakeshore cleanup and things. All this stuff here you won't see unless you're logged in, but we have some other information for logged in members and things. You can contact our, I'll just log out so you can see what it actually looks like. Okay. So you can kind of contact us real easily through here as well. So, but as far as what is available on here, you can see the police reports. Just kind of come under this tool. And as we get them, we post them right here. So they're really easy to find when they are. And we'll continue to post those as we get Usually they're lagging like a month and a half behind. We don't have October's yet. We'll probably get it in about a week from now. So fortunately, we were ahead of the game before they get them to us. I'm working on trying to get a better system set up where they do send them to us better. Okay, so let's go and take a look at September's report. When you look at these reports, it talks about what's dispatched, what's self-initiated, any follow-ups to previous calls, and then the all overall calls. To kind of give an idea what that means is who, like people who called like 911 or non-emergency and asked for a law enforcement officer to come out will be here. Self-initiated, or when an officer might make a stop or see something suspicious and then head out to do the call. And follow-ups are things like maybe following up on a crime report or something along those. So it kind of gives you an idea of when the times they were, when the highest call volume was during the days over the course of that month. And it breaks it down a little bit for the different types of periods where, let's see, let me move this out of the way. Maybe not. There it goes. It says for like other unit and Estacada unit. That's important to know too. The Estacada unit is the one that the city pays for to be in our city through the shift. Basically, I think it's 8 or 10 hours a day, every day. And then the green ones are for other officers that aren't part of that normal assigned to Estacada. So I'm sliding something around here. I don't know if it's even blocking your guys' call or not, your guys' view. I wonder if I can make that smaller. Yes, I can. All right, so in here you can kind of see when calls are made in, you can see the Estacada unit for when they responded to a call, and then priority calls. Same here for outside. This is for the non-Estacada unit. So response duration from dispatch to arrival. This is how long it took for them to get from when like you called 911 to them to arrive on scene. So for non-priority calls, it took about 6 minutes and 22 seconds. For priority calls, it took about 4 minutes and 41 seconds. And you can see for other units, the difference for non-emergent, for non-priority and then priority calls. So generally, there was a lot more law enforcement in September in Estacada. So because of the fires and everything. So we see these numbers are a little skewed. Usually you'll get about 8 to 10 minutes for these numbers. You can see this on previous reports. Kind of gives you an idea, the call volume jump from during September to what the normal months are because of the fires. So this breaks it down on what it was as far as like, you know, if it's a suspicious person, maybe a disturbance, things like that. It's all going to be broken down here for you. And let's see if I can scroll back up a little bit. And then you can see it's based on what's dispatched, which is self-initiated, where they may have saw it and they went and stopped. Some additional information. This gives you more of the same type of breakdowns, but over a longer period of time. You can see if there's an uptick or anything. So let's see. You also have some more information that's kind of continue going down. This is self-initiated calls. And then you have the, again, dispatch and self-initiated. Here, they're breaking it down as far as what it was last year to what it is this year, and if there's been a massive uptick or not. As you can see, assist the public has been bumped up quite a bit, but again, September's numbers are pretty skewed. So if you want to see normal numbers, I would look for the August or looking for October. That's going to give you a better idea. But it also might give you an idea kind of what went down during the actual fires.
Well, I think they said too, we had like, what was it, almost a 400% uptick in police officer presence.
Yeah, it was.
So that's a huge number too to look at.
Yeah, exactly. So everything that came out, they were there for. So kind of gives you as far as the traffic accidents they responded to in the area. This lets you know where a bunch of those calls were.
Yeah, we had a whole moment out here too.
Oh, we had from all over the.
Yeah, they were all over the place.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you can kind of get an idea. I think it maybe usually they give you like the top top 15, 20 or so. It's only top 9 here, looks like, and kind of where those actually took place. So give you some more breakdowns of how many citations were issued, warnings given, and so on. That's all here. And this is kind of the last page. So when we go over these in the future, and we don't have an skewed one like next month, we're going to go over a little closer to where some of those crimes actually happened and what crimes are actually happening in the city.
Where we need to adjust our focus for as well.
Exactly. And so we'll be looking at those particular calls to service and things and where they're at. We can't release the September one for that to get a good idea. And we kind of want to look at what's the post fire kind of crime rate and stuff. So yeah, that's the crime reports. I do recommend everybody take a look at those, kind of keep up on them, kind of see what's going on around you, and we'll keep posting them as well as best we can. And as soon as they come available to us, like I said, we are going to work with the Clackamas County Sheriff to see if we can get those released sooner. I don't know if they can or not. It's really up to what they choose. And anyone can request this. It's all public record, so you can go on and you can request the records through the Clackamas County Sheriffs. I mean, it's not just set to our group or anything by any means. So let's go to the next portion. Let's go ahead and jump into the focus items, which is the patrol information. So we did have a patrol meeting recently. I think we had for the first meeting with everything kind of going on. I think it was actually a decent turnout.
Yeah,
We had like, I think what, 8 or 10 applications in at this point right now.
I think so.
So we had a few others that have reached out. They tried to stop by even today, and I guess they missed us for the 5 minutes we were gone. Timing bad. But yeah, so the people are coming in to apply for those dispatcher or patrol positions, and we'll continue to build that list as we continue to put more things in place as far as what our policies are. Why don't you talk a little bit about those, because that's kind of your
About policies?
not just policies, kind of like things to expect. What's our officer, what is an officer going to kind of look like, and what our plans are right now. What's some of the mandates that they follow, what will they be carrying with them, will they be certified, and so on.
Yeah, so as far as the patrol side, I know that we've had some questions about how come we're not out there, doing our patrols and everything. And it kind of boils down to, at the end of the day, we need to make sure that we're safe. We need to make sure that the community is safe, as well as making sure that there's insurance guidelines involving that to make sure everyone is protected. And since we are going, I should say Joel is going kind of above and beyond and doing the extra mile to make sure that all of our P's and Q's are added properly and all the T's and periods are where they need to be. So that is one of the biggest reasons why we're also not going unarmed, which has been a huge concern for a lot of the citizens.
We are not.
We're going unarmed.
There you go.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said we're not going unarmed.
Oh yeah, we'll be fully, no. And that is to, and that kind of goes down to the insurance thing, as well as making sure that the proper certifications and everything are in place before we're allowed to do something like that.
Maybe we should talk a little bit about what unarmed actually means in our perspective. That means there's going to be absolutely no weapons at all on our officers, or what? With that,
Like, I'll just make this easy, and I'm going to read it straight from our basic guidelines. So it says, unarmed patrol. We will be performing unarmed patrols in the city of Estacada. Unarmed does not mean undefended. This means we will be limiting ourselves to protect non-lethal weapons versus lethal weapons. Unarmed means while on patrol, there will be no firearms present on your person or vehicle, concealed or otherwise. The group insurance and licensing will not allow for firearms to be carried while on patrol, even with the concealed carry permit.
So as you can see, what that means is that our officers will probably have some sort of defensive weapon, which they'll be trained and certified and everything in, which it either could range from a previous statement we put out. There was either going to be a taser, a pepper ball gun, it could be a expandable baton. Handcuffs are technically considered a defensive weapon, so they might have those as well. Those final decisions are still being decided on and brought to the board. The board making decisions based upon what insurance says, and there's a whole lot of process that kind of goes into this to make sure that we're meeting all the safety standards, all the certification requirements, that we're able to probably get proper training on these items, make sure that the insurance is happy with everything, make sure the board's happy with everything, because they want to make sure that their job is to protect the group as well. So there's a lot of pieces that kind of go into this to make sure that we got a good set of groups that are properly trained, background checked, insured, certified, all that stuff comes together.
And then the training on top of it, making sure that there's proper training. And the DPSST, which stands for the Department of Public Safety Standards and Training. So each officer will be trained properly and certified.
Yeah, that DPSST is a state part of it, where that's where you get your unarmed certifications, where the group is certified. Some of the training for additional like mental health training, as far as any sort of defensive weapons carried, will also be taken through different additional, professional certification groups. So those are still being looked at as well. Let's see. Okay. So that's kind of what we're looking at this point right now. We still have, I think months of work to get that to that point. The reason why it's taken a while is because of all the things we're trying to do and make sure we don't miss a step somewhere. And compared to a lot of other organizations out there across the U.S., there's a lot of neighborhood watch groups around the area that actually, a lot of the people will actually carry concealed. And they just kind of go out there in a very unorganized manner, and that's across a lot of the groups in the U.S. So we are taking the extra steps on top of the steps to make sure that we actually
Are legally protected.
and we can make sure that we're better organized and that we are a positive plus to the community, a positive service to the community, and try to curb some of those concerns people have had. So the mandates that our officers will run with will be observe and report. They will be for community assistance and fire watch. Observe and report means that officers will not get involved with a crime being committed. They will call 911. They will have the law enforcement do their job. The only time our officer should ever get involved in anything is if someone's life is in immediate danger. So meaning like threat of death, and those policies are still being written. So as far as any community service, we're like community assistance, that may be from flat tires, battery jumps. During storms, you get things like where trees fall in driveways and stuff, to remove those trees and things. There can be a lot of it. It could be someone has to work late, like a young lady might want some extra security there when she's walking to her car. She can ask an officer to come by and just kind of be there for that. There's a lot of reasons why people might call for assistance.
Keep an eye out for missing pets. I know that was one that was brought up. I'm like,
Exactly.
hey,
Missing pets and stuff. That's another thing too, is to help with that. The big thing is we will have a dispatch for people to call in, but we're saying it loud and clear now. Do not call us if you have an emergency. If there's an emergency, call 911. That's what they are there for. We are here for non-emergency, simple community assistance, not something that police should be involved in. So, or police or fire or medical. That's what they're there for. We're here just to kind of help fill those gaps in other places and be extra eyes and ears for law enforcement and for medical if need be. So that's just a quick idea what our patrol's information is in there. We have posted an official statement that was approved by the board. It's on our website. You guys can take a look at that. We posted it on Facebook, and all our documents we pretty much are pretty open with once the board approves them. So we'll make sure we share those out too, so you guys can see what our officers are being told to do and what some of those policies and mandates are. So, and by all means, we are always open to answer any questions that we can. Okay. Do you have anything else you want to add? Any board members want to add anything to this regarding the patrol information? Christy, Don, you guys have anything you want to say? Do I need to unmute you? Let's see. I'm looking for it on here. See if you want to. Let's see his hands up. I clicked the ask to unmute, Don, so it's a Now you hear it. It's really bad. You might be better to type it in the chat. Yeah, that was really loud and it's impossible to hear. So if you type it in the chat, Don, I'll read it out and make sure everybody can hear what you have to say. Christy, did you have anything you wanted to add in? Okay. So when Don types it in, I'll read it out to everybody. In the meantime, while he's hopefully typing something out there, I will go ahead and jump into the fire board meeting information real quick and see. Okay, so last night the fire board meeting happened. I thought it might be an hour-long meeting. It turned into 3.5 hours. It was a very long meeting. The community was very clear with the fire board. They do not want Clackamas Fire. They do not want a contract service. I think they're pretty clear with saying they want the Estacada Fire Department rebuilt and to be redone. There was a lot of information put out as far as why the fire board had chosen to go that way, some of the challenges they have ahead of them. But I believe the fire board's got a pretty good idea at this point what's wanted as far as the next steps. There's going to be a lot of work involved when it comes down to getting the fire department rebuilt for us. And I think it's definitely doable. And I think it's really important that the community is actively involved in the meetings and the information there to make sure that, it's going the way that we voted. And the voted was 61% said they did not want a merger. So I think it's important that the community comes out and gets involved. Plus, they will be seeking for volunteer firefighters. So definitely get the word out as best you can, so that as they start calling for those people are ready to jump in on that. So I've released a whole bunch of documents through the website from the fire board meeting as far as what the contingency plan was and some other information. I think there's some feasibility studies and things that were done, some budgets and other information. I think even the contract I found and put it on there as well. So that way the community can be properly informed about what's going on with the fire department. And so if you jump in on another meeting, you can actually, you can actually have some information to share with what you want to input. So that was kind of the key thing with the fire board meeting. I don't see anything in from Don yet regarding what he wanted to say in the chat. So Don, I don't know if you actually had anything to. Oh, there it is. It popped up finally. Even though we have some volunteers for patrols, we need more, even if we get the amount we need. Yes, Don is 100% right. For the patrols, even if we meet the minimum that we need in order to cover those shifts that we need to cover, having additional volunteers is important because there will be some people that will fall out from volunteers, the people that might be sick for shifts, and we want to be able to cover down people gone. It's kind of like you do with a fire department volunteers. We're going to need something where we need people that are constantly filling that area. So they definitely something we need to kind of really encourage people to come out and volunteer. And if you're not sure, if you have questions, come out and ask us. We will give you information and we'll tell you all about it and kind of walk it through and make sure that any of your concerns are addressed. So, but yeah, as far as the fire board meeting, we may not see the department fully put back together until sometime in 2022. Could be January or so, but there's going to be a lot of work between now and then. So definitely keep up on there. Their meetings, I think, are the third Thursday of every single month. And they do them through Zoom. And I think you can get it through Estacada Fire website. You can see the links and stuff for that. And jump into the board meetings. Be involved. Definitely, let's get the fire department rebuilt and make sure that they know the community's behind it. So, is there anything else you can any of the officers want to put out before I open it up to the community discussion? Okay. Is there anyone on here from the community that would like to bring up a topic or have a discussion or anything? Oh, also, Dawn has also said donations. So definitely, I don't know the clarification what he's looking for the donation statement there. But our group is nonprofit. We are supported by donations. So I know that's one thing, whether it's donations for the food boxes, donations for what we do on a monthly basis for community service, whether it's talking about if he's talking about what we're doing in Christmas, or the fact is that, it costs money to pay for insurance every month. It costs money that we'll be getting for the officers, and it costs money to get those trainings and certifications and everything. So we as a community need to go to as many community meetings as possible. Our voices can not be heard unless we attend and speak up.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's exactly what Chrissy said. The more you attend, the more they're going to hear it, the more they're going to be there. So looks like Brandy had something.
Tomorrow is our last day to have that extra storage unit that has all those coolers and tables and items that people might have left behind at the relief center. Does that mean we're going to get rid of all this stuff? No, but we won't have as much storage space for it. By the 15th, if you haven't picked it up, I mean, there's nothing else we can really do except if we happen to have it, here it is. But we need to be very clear. For one thing, that we will have to get those items to their owners as soon as possible by the end of the day tomorrow, hopefully. And then also that there was another group that did stuff over by the fire station. We've had several people reach out to us about their items that were donated to that group. I can get you the person to contact, but they weren't us. They weren't our group. We need to make sure we're being clear about that. So the lady who led that, I do have like a way, her Facebook and stuff, where you can reach out to her, find out where those things are. But I'm not sure, maybe I'll put a list out there tonight saying what we still have of items that were donated at the relief center that we need to get back to their owners. And if anyone has something that they haven't reached out to us about, they need to do that ASAP.
Yep. Pretty soon we're going to stop putting the information out for people to get items back, and we're just going to kind of absorb them into the group. So because like I said, we had a storage that was donated for a 1 month period, and that's where we put those extra items into. But now we got to kind of collapse it back down, and we don't have the storage space. So those items are going to get mixed in with our other group items, so it'll be a lot harder from this point going forward to separate those items out. So if we don't get them to people to pick them up by tomorrow, and there are a few that have contacted me that we're going to get those items sorted out and look for them and get them back to them. But everybody else at this point, everything else, we might just be considering at this moving forward that it's just it was left for donation. So please reach out to us if you still have an item that was donated you haven't got back. But there's a difference, like she said. There was the group that was by the fire department, and then there was our group, which was over at the relief center by the Cazadero. What happened to the items before we were asked by the fire department to come over and help get that stuff cleaned up and migrated over? We don't know. So we migrated what was there over into where we were at and asked people to come pick them up. And we've had a lot of people come to pick things up, but there were some items that we may have never even seen. And so it's hard for us to say or answer where the item was or anything like that. So.
Well, and I think another thing too that needs to be mentioned is a lot of the items that were donated had zero contact information.
Yes, that's
about
right.
The time that things were getting moved over to the relief center, things that weren't picked up, we had put aside that had, numbers and all that stuff, and we tried to get a hold of those people. But something I want to make really clear is a lot of the items that were given to the relief center had zero contact information about it at all. So I think that needs to be pretty clear as well.
Hi, Kathy. I see that you've joined. So, all right. Well, I think that's as far as we've said that, tomorrow, by the way, tomorrow morning, if anyone's up for it, we will be needing a small work party to help move those items from the one storage into the other. Just about I don't know, maybe 30, 40 feet around the corner. So if you're interested in that, just email me at estacadawatch@gmail.com, or you can reach out. Again, the phone number is 971-301-5881. You can reach out to me that way as well. But let me know if you want to come out tomorrow. And I don't have an exact time yet, but it'll probably be in the morning. If there are anybody who would like to bring up anything for the community open discussion, now is the time. Just type something in the chat. Nathan Ennis, I see you raise your hand. Okay.
Hey, Joel.
Hey,
I just wanted to say thank you to the Community Watch Group and the Board of Directors for putting this together and starting it. There's been a few neighborhood watch things going, but this is the most official and organized, and seems to be going to be around a while. And I'd just like to, encourage the support and keep getting out there on Facebook, doing the live videos and spreading everybody in the community is kind of sitting back watching to see what happens. They have all expressed their concerns, and you've been on a good job of addressing those concerns, whether it's an armed group of raiders or it's a stopping people, or if it's a community assistance program. I like the direction that everything is going, and just want to continue to support however we can.
Thank you.
And fire department, it's going to be a long road, but I think the Community Watch Group supporting that and continuing to beat that drum for volunteers and volunteerism is what it's going to take. So
Exactly. I totally agree. And I appreciate the kind words there, Nathan. And hey, Don, I see you finally popped on camera. So, but yeah, definitely we appreciate that very much, Nathan. So,
Thank you.
and we'll keep beating the drum forward and keep moving on. So, let's see, Don, I'm gonna try unmuting you again because your hand's still raised. We'll see what happens.
I'm sorry, Don.
Don, it might be those headphones that you're using.
It could be.
Maybe if you unplug the headphones and try talking, it might work. No better?
No better.
Okay. Well, I'll help you with that for future. I'll help you get stuff for future. Okay. So I see Brandy. I'm gonna go ahead and lower that hand then. I see Brandy has her hand raised.
Yeah, I was gonna say the headphones might be part of the problem, but he said no. So I just wanted to say Kathy was here, the store treasurer, Kathy, and also you said something about Saturday. Can you repeat part of that?
Oh, Saturday, which is tomorrow, to move the items out of the one storage into the other. Well,
Right.
I'll
Okay.
need a small group of people just to help me kind of get those put together and drag them over. So.
Okay.
Too
Yeah.
much. Don, I think you were there for some of that. So there's not a whole ton in there, is there?
Yeah, he helped me move everything into that storage, so
Yep.
he knows it's there.
We helped Don get his weekly workout quite often. So usually there's something and it's like, hey, Don, what, you busy? Oh no, great. We need to move an entire house 4 inches to the left. No, not that bad. Anyways, yeah, is there anyone else from the community that would like to say something, bring up any concerns, share anything about any crimes you guys may have seen or witnessed or had to report? Anything along those lines you think that might be great for the community to hear? I see no hands. Great. And I see no comments. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about the next couple of dates to know about. The 22nd is when we will be doing the Thanksgiving boxes, and then our next community meeting will be on the 11th of December, and then the last meeting to know about will be on the 23rd of December, and that's going to be where we deliver all the Christmas boxes and stuff. So I think those are the 3 dates, and then they will be in the website under the events calendar, and we'll continue to put them on Facebook. So by all means, I do encourage, if anything comes up between community meetings, reach out to us, and we're happy to answer any questions and keep you guys informed. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and, oh, I see it. Brandy's raising her hand.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, I don't know if anybody else has reported this to you, but there's this man that has a bicycle with a trailer behind it. And he's been seen all over town, and he goes up on people's porches and on the sides of their yards and takes their cans. And he's been going through people's garbage.
Really?
He's been in our neighborhood up here, and I've seen him downtown doing the same thing, and over off a Cemetery Road up there on in Reagan Hill. I've seen him up there.
I have noticed that and there's a video I think that was posted of the gentleman a little while back. Someone had seen him go up on someone's porch and then confronted him on video, and when they confronted him, he just kind of jumped on his bike and drove off. But I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
So when you're confronting somebody, be careful, because you don't know how they're going to respond. But
Exactly.
sometimes just saying, hey, what are you doing? Sometimes is enough to get them to run away. But definitely, if you see him taking things and you get it on video, you can turn it to law enforcement. But without a report, sometimes from the actual property owner, or without an official trespass, there's not a whole lot they can do. So
Okay.
so yeah, but definitely it's important, if you see a crime being committed where they're taking stuff and you know it's a crime, then definitely call the police. But it also could be where that one landowner may have told them, hey, yeah, you can come out of my cans when you go by. So it's kind of a hard when it comes down to that versus, breaking a window. But definitely ask them, hey, what's going on? Should you be there? Videotape the person, turn it over to law enforcement if you need to. So.
Okay.
Yep. And I see Christy has woke up enough to to say something. Let me get you on here, Christy.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right. So I just wanted to say that, sorry, I sound like crap, but the community is the eyes and ears, not just for us, but for the police department as well. And if we are not doing our jobs as communities and as citizens, then, we're only as good as we can be. So it's really important that the community also steps up and says, okay, this is going on. We know this is not right. And we call the appropriate entity. So we just need to stand up and make sure that everything's getting done correctly.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. We are the eyes and ears, and it's our job as citizens to report crimes as we see them and make sure the law enforcement knows about it. If they don't know about it, they can't do anything about it. And there's definitely a second part of that too, is where in some cases there's limited laws in effect for the law enforcement to enforce. A good example is a while back we had an issue with nudity in the city, and when I investigated the laws regarding that, our city falls back to the state statutes that say that basically unless there's a sexual act involved with that nudity, there's no crime to enforce behind it. And so local municipalities, such as the city, has to create a law that causes it to be a crime for them to enforce against. And so sometimes it's a mix between the local municipality to create a law to give the law enforcement teeth in order to effectively enforce what is a crime in most cases. So, and usually it has to be more, has to be worth it for them to arrest somebody and go through it, because if it's simply a misdemeanor where they get a ticket because they picked some cans up, that's, versus, if they steal grand larceny, steal a car or something. So there's a lot of pieces in that, but it's definitely no matter what, because all that's constantly changing and there's a lot of confusion with that, is constantly reported to law enforcement and make sure that they're aware of it. So the minute that they are able to enforce it, they can jump on it and then move forward. Plus, they'll have a background of history to fall back on as well when they're trying to enforce that law. So records are really important when you're trying to, you know, and enforce laws and you know, process for crimes. So, is there anything else anyone has that's popped up? See if any hands pop up. Okay, I'm not seeing any hands. Not seeing any chat. Okay. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and conclude the Estacada Community Watch monthly meeting for November. And we will say everybody have a good night, and we'll post this as soon as we can onto YouTube to see those, and then we'll get them shared out to everybody as well. Thanks, you guys, and we'll see you at the next event.